Good morning, everyone. Let's do some prayers first. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhurbhuvaswaha Tatsavitravarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Asto Ma Satgamya Tamso Ma Jyotirgamya Mrityurma Mritam Gamya Om Sahna Bhavatu Sahna Bhunaktu Saviryam Karvavahi तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहे ओम शांति 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 Okay, let's open Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So this section which we are dealing with right now, or going through it, it is very deep actually. There are a lot of different kinds of meditations this Rishi is telling us. And the story was in the kingdom of King Janak, there were all these scholars present. And King Janak said, whoever is the winner will take all these cows. On each cow, there was a lot of gold attached to it. And Rishi Yagvalke, without any conversation, took the cows. Then the other priest started debating with him. And in these debates came all these meditations. Meditation on the prana also, meditation on the Rig mantra also. In this section, we will see the three classes of Rig mantras, meditation on those. The introductory or the preliminary mantras, the intermediary or the oblational mantras, and laudatory or the eulogistic mantras. And what is the result of these meditations? Attainment of everything in the three worlds. There are meditations on the three kinds of oblations offered, and the mantras chanted by the Adharvyu priest in the flame of the sacrificial fire, which goes straight up, in the flame that makes a loud noise. And there's a flame also that penetrates almost into the earth. The result is said to be the attainment of the worlds of gods, manes, and men, respectively. And then there is another meditation he talks about on the Vishwa Devas. Vishwa Devas are infinite in number. Even though there's a one God, but manifestations of one God into many. So the modifications of the mind being infinite, so infinite are the Vishwadevas. So that's why infinite are the results of the meditation. And then another meditation he talks about in this section is on the three kinds of Rig mantras, which I just said earlier, preliminary, intermediary, and laudatory, as identical with the pran, apan, vyan. And the result of all these meditations is the attainment by the meditator, the higher realm. Wherever we are, we want to raise ourselves to the higher level. Okay, so do not get confused with all these meditations. Just learn it. Just at least it's good to know what our rishis are talking about. Then sure, we can choose at our level the meditation, and idea is to have faith in doing the meditation. So we ended our last week's class with verse number 4, page number 190. And today we are going to start with verse number 5. यज्ञे वल्कः इति होवाच यद इदं सर्वं पूर्व पक्ष अपर पक्ष भ्यायात् आप्तमं सर्वं पूर्व पक्ष अपर पक्षः अभ्यां विपन्नम केन यजमानः पूर्व पक्ष अपर पक्षयोर अप्तिम उच्यत इति उद्भातृत्विजः व्यायुनः प्राणेन प्राणो वे यज्ञ स्वधातः तद अयं प्राण स वायु स उद्गाता स मुक्ति स अति मुक्ति. So this is on page number 190, verse number 5. Yajnavalkya said, so this is a conversation between Rishi Yajnavalkya and Ashval. Okay, Ashval is one of the priests over there, because when Yajnavalkya told his people to take the cows, then Ashval is the one who stood up and started having debates with Yajnavalkya. So Yajnavalkya said, since all this is caught by the bright and dark halves of the month and overpowered by them, through what does the sacrificer transcend the reach of these? Through the chanting priest Udgatre and the vital force looked upon as air. The vital force of the sacrificer is indeed the chanting priest. Now this vital force of the sacrificer is Vayu, cosmic vital air. And Vayu is the chanting priest. That Vayu is the means of liberation, and liberation is transcendence. So verse number 5, that's where we are. Let's try to understand what does it really mean for us. The process of transcending another form of time is explained here. Because another form consists of bright and dark halves of the month. Shukla and Krishna, which we say in Sanskrit. Shukla Paksha and Krishna Paksha. Caused by the movement of the moon. Because day and night we see because of the sun, and these Krishna and Shukla Paksha are because of the moon. This form of time is also the cause of death through limitation, just like the other form of day and night, which was explained in the previous mantra. The meditation that this mantra introduces is on the identification of the Udgatra priest, the priest who chants hymns from Sam Ved. You remember last time I told you, gave you the names of 4 different priests. So with the cosmic vital force referred to here as Vayu, The vital force is the individual referred to as prana. And we are all familiar with these terms, prana. The term Vayu refers to the cosmic vital force. It should be identified with the moon occurring in the recension in place of Vayu. Because moon is said to be the luminous organ of the cosmic vital force in the mantras, moon. So vital force or prana in us is the Udgatra priest of the sacrifice. Because that priest alone is capable of chanting the Udgit. So the chanters of Samdev chant the hymns before the altar. The vital force lives and enlivens the body of an individual the same way. So we can meditate on this vital force in us. So the vital force which chants the song of life vibrates in us. We are all familiar with this rhythm of life. And this Rishi is telling us this is identical with the Udgatri priest. Just like that priest fills the sacrificial altar with the musical notes of Samved, the same way the vital force in our bodies causes the rhythmic flow of life. We feel the vibration, we feel the pulsation inside us because this is our world. This is like a microcosm. Whatever is happening in the macrocosm, it happens in the microcosm also. So the vital force is the individualized counterpart of the cosmic vital force. So that's how we feel the oneness between the outer as well as the inner. The cosmic vital force causes changes in the lunar movements, causes the division of time according to the lunar system, and the same identification in ourself also. So the cosmic vital force identified through meditation, that really means to attain liberation. So that's how we detach from the lower and attach to something which is higher, something which is bigger. That's how we release these attachments through these meditations. So that's what he's telling us in this verse. Now let's look at the next verse. Yagye valkyehe iti hovaч yad idam antriksham arambhanam iv ken akramen yajmanaha swargam lokam akramat iti brahmantvijaha manasa chandren mano ve yagyasya brahma tad idam manaha so aso chandraha sa brahma sa mukti sa ati mukti iti ati mokshaha ath sampada. Yajnavalkya said, since the sky is, as it were, without a support, through what prop does the sacrificer attain heaven as a result? Through the superintending priest and the mind looked upon as the moon. The mind of the sacrificer is indeed the superintending priest. So from Pran, he is moving our attention to the man. Now this mind of the sacrificer is that moon. The moon is the superintending priest. That moon is the means of liberation. And liberation is transcendence. The above are the ways of transcendence, Now come meditations based upon similarity. So meditating on that. So this is verse number 6. So meditative process of transcending death in the form of ritual and time factor, which was stated in the preceding mantras. Now the support by which the sacrificer ascends to the beyond is being explained in this mantra. So something higher, something subtler than that. And he talks about this sky, antariksha, sky which seems to be sportless. Because don't we often wonder who is sporting all this? We don't see any substratum. But there is some sport, even though it's unknown to us. Everything has to have some kind of a support. Otherwise, attainment of the world of heaven would be impossible. And what is the support through which the sacrificer attains heaven as a result of his rituals, rites? If he is released through meditation, what is the support with which he transcends death and is released? This was the question of Ashval. To which sage Yajnavalkya replies by prescribing another meditation. Because there was a dialogue between these two, and Rishi Yajnavalkya was supposed to answer all the questions of Ashval. The means of ascent to the heavenly world are the Brahma priest. You remember the 4 priests? I hope you remember the names. Brahma priest, who is the superintendent and caretaker of the rites in the sacrifice. The mind and the moon. That is to say, the meditation on the unity of these 3 provides the sacrificer with the support with which he ascends to and acquires the heavenly world. There's a very beautiful process for all this. Just as in a sacrifice, the priest named Brahma is responsible for the superintendence of the offerings, and it is his duty to take care of the rites as a whole. If there's any flaw in the ritual, he is supposed to repair it. So the same way, the mind, the caretaker, supervisor of all actions in our body, mind is the one which is supposed to take care of it. Mind is the Brahma. The mind has the moon as its presiding deity for its cosmic counterpart. What mind is to the body, same is the moon to the gods. Just as Brahma has a place of highest importance in the sacrifice, this Brahma priest I'm talking about, who is seated near the altar, mainly engaged in supervision, the same way the mind of an individual has a place of supreme importance among all organs. That's why, in a general also, Hatha Yoga is for the body and the Raj Yoga is for the mind. Raj means the king. Mind is superior. Mind is subtler. That's why we got to take care of it. Protect it. Keep it clean. Moon is said to be the mind of the cosmic being. Sometimes it's said to be an offspring of the Supreme Purusha. There are Purusha Sukta in the Vedas. That's where it's mentioned. The individual mind is identical with the cosmic mind and the moon. This cosmic mind has an important place in the cosmic bodies, and it is engaged in supervision and plays a very prominent part in the workings of the world. See, when we expand our horizon, our understanding, all this become very clear. We have to just increase our awareness. We just keep on creating the walls around us, and we become very narrow-minded. Only me and mine. But these rishis, they told us to meditate and keep on expanding your awareness to the higher and higher, towards the highest. The cosmic mind is assigned the duty of successfully carrying out the world order. And the meditation on the identity of this cosmic being as that moon above in the universal realm, and the mind in an individual, and the Brahma priest in the sacrificial rite. These are all aids to attain freedom. Okay, that's why it's very commonly said in our scriptures that the mind of ours is the one which can give us liberation. Mind is the one which can create the bondage. Manaiv manushya nam karanam bandh moksha. So you can see that the meditation like this, when we understand the importance of mind, we will move towards the liberation. So there are various ways of liberation from death. There are many more meditations on similar lines. And there is a word iti in the concluding portion of this mantra. So iti means this topic regarding the transcendence is concluded, iti. And with the word ath, he is introducing another topic regarding the acquirements or attainments by meditation. So ath is always in the beginning of something, iti is towards the end of something. So that's why he's using both. So one topic is ending and the other topic is beginning. If you remember, even the Yoga Sutras, Ath Yoga Anushashanam. Now, Ath means now, Iti means this is the end. All the scriptures we see that at the end it says Iti. So in this verse beautifully, he just combined these two. Even though this section is not being concluded, but this topic he says Iti. And who is saying it? Rishi Yagyavalkya. Now let's look at number 7. Yagye valkye iti hovacha katirbhir yamd abhi hotaha अस्मिन् यज्ञे करिष्यति इति तिसृभिः इति कृतां ताश्रितस्तत्र इति पुरोनुवाक्यः च याज्या च यशस्य एव तृतीयः किमताभिर्जित इति यति कंचदेतं प्राण वृदिति. Yajnavalkya said to Ashval, with how many classes of rig will the invoking priest do his function in the sacrifice today? With the 3 classes. Which are those 3? The preparatory, the oblational, and the third is the laudatory. Hymns, these are all hymns, the mantra. What does he win through them? All this that has life. So a lot of questions. In the form of questions, he's telling us that this is what we're going to be talking about. That's what I'm going to be explaining. Because Ashwal is putting another question as to the number of verses from Rig Veda. How many Rig Veda mantras will be chanted by the Hotri priest in performing of the rites in the sacrifice that was being performed by King Janak? And the Yajnavalkya replied that the Hotri performs the sacrifice with 3 kinds of Rig verses. Okay, so it's like a clearly it's not said that who asked, but we know that conversation is going between the Ashwal and Yajnavalkya. So Ashwal is asking how many mantras. So Yajnavalkya is saying the 3 kinds of Rig verses. And when he was asked the details of the 3 kinds, he named them: preparatory, oblational, and benedictional. Benedictional is the one which is called laudatory. The preparatory hymns are those which are addressed to the deity, inviting him to be present at the offering to be made to him. When we invite somebody, when we do the avahan, we invite God. When we do the Ganesh Puja also, what do? We invite Lord Ganesh, we offer the seat. So those are preparatory hymns, inviting the deity. It's not the deity is not there, God is not there, but for our own mind, we want to connect with the presence of the God at that altar. So all invocations and the verses regarding the invocation come under this group, preparatory hymns. And the second one is oblational. Oblational verses are those which are recited just when the Adharvya is about to offer the oblations to the sacred fire. This type of verses is preceded by the word Ye Yaja Mehe. I'm sure you are familiar with some of the verses. Ye Yaja Mehe. These verses are found in the Rig Veda. Many, many verses like that. All verses which are recited for oblational purposes come under this group. So he says, we are going to recite these verses also. And then the third kind of verses, benedictional verses, are those which are recited addressing the God in praise, praying for benediction. These verses are generally chanted at the end of a sacrificial rite. This type of verses sometimes contains an enumeration of the names of various gods. We say the names loudly. And we are praying for their blessings. And it's at the end. Such verses differ from the other verses because they invoke his blessings. Various names of gods inviting him to be present in the sacrificial altar. So all such verses that invoke the blessings of the deity are grouped under this third type. So normally when we do our Aarti also, daily prayers, sometimes we see all of it. Maybe we don't know the distinction between these, but if we do, it will be better. Preparing ourselves, giving the oblations also. There are praises of God, and there are asking for blessings also. All of it. And what does the sacrificer win through the chanting of these types of verses? That was the next question put by Ashval. And Yajnavalkya replied over here that he wins whatever there is living in the three worlds. That is to say, the sacrificer obtains all as a result of his meditation on the above three types of verses or hymns. So it's not just only reciting with our mouth, but believing in it, connecting with it, detaching from the world, and attaching it to God with the help of these verses. So this is what Yajnavalkya is explaining. And I hope some of it, you're already doing it. But the reason we go through these scriptures in detail like this, so that we can improve on our own devotional part. We got to be thanking God. Often we ask God for things, which is okay to ask, but thankfulness should be a big part. And preparing ourselves. It's just not, sometimes people just in a hurry, just don't pay much attention to these rituals. These rituals are very meaningful, very important. Spending enough time. Now let's look at one more verse, verse number 8. याज्ञवल्क्यः इति होवाच कत्यहेम अधर्व्युर अस्मिन् यज्ञे आहुति पोषयति तिस्र इति कस्मात् तिस्र इति यः हुता उज्ज्वलन्तिः यः हुता अति नेदन्तेः यः हुता अधिशेरते किम ताभिर्जयति यः हुता उज्ज्वलन्ति देवलोकम् एव ताभिर्जयति दीप्यत इव हि देवलोकः यः हुता अति नेदन्तेः पितृलोकम् एव ताभिर्जयति अतीव हि पितृलोकः यः हुता अधिशेरते मनुष्यलोकम् एव ताभिर्जयति अध इव हि मनुष्यलोकः. Yajnavalkya said, how many kinds of oblations will this priest called Adharvyu offer in this sacrifice today? 3. Which are those 3? Those that flare up when offered, those that make a loud noise at the time of offering, and those that go down on being offered. What does he win through them? Through those that flare up when offered, he verily wins the world of the gods. For that world looks like shining. Through those that make a loud noise when offered, he verily wins the world of the mains, for that world seems to be too noisy. And through those that go down to the earth, he verily wins the world of men, for this world is indeed lower. So this mantra is set forth to explain the process of meditation on the 3 types of oblations, which the Adharvyu priest offers in the sacrifice. These 3 oblations are indicated by their natures, and the meditation is based upon similarity. So the mantra aims at pointing out to the Adharvyu priest that he should meditate on different articles of offering as those particular worlds which he wishes to win through them. As a result of such meditations, he will win those worlds. Because these sacrifices, these yajnas are done mainly to attain something. But ultimate attainment is liberation. Liberation, not getting attached to these worlds either, whether it's a world of the men or the heaven or even the mains. That's why what did Arjun say? That I don't want the three worlds. It's nothing to me. That is the highest. When you just want God and God only. But these Yajnavalkya is explaining to Ashval some of these rituals which are done keeping in mind to attain something in this world or heavenly world or even the mains. So that's why he's mentioning these to him. So let's look at one more verse. यज्ञवल्क्यः इति होवाच कतिभिर्मध्ये ब्रह्मः यज्ञं दक्षिणोतो देवताभिः गोपायम् इति एकयति कतमः सैकात् मन एव इति अनंतं वे मनः अनंता विश्वे देवा अनंतम एव स तेन लोकमुच्यति. Yajnavalkya said, through how many gods does this superintending priest protect the sacrifice sitting on the right today? Through one, which is that God, the mind alone. The mind is verily infinite, and infinite are the Vishwadevas. Through that meditations, he verily wins an infinite world. See, just like I was telling you in the beginning, Vishwadevas, infinite Vishwadevas. So again, Ashval questioned as to the number of gods with whose sport the Brahma priest protect the sacrifice. And here, Ashval is using the word gods in plural number. Like how many gods? Even though God is one, but devatas are many. So gods over here means the devatas. Okay. So Yajnavalkya replied that the only God through whom the Brahma priest superintends the sacrifice is the mind. It is through mind that he, the Brahma priest, seated in his place, does his duty of supervising the sacrifice and correcting any error made. Mind alone is the supervisor. It occupies a place of distinction and importance over all other organs. It operates upon all actions and deliberations. And we are all familiar with it, our own mind. And again, this mind has infinite forms. That's what Vishwadeva is. Infinite forms on account of its modifications. Just as the mind is infinite, so are the gods. For the gods identify themselves with the infinitude of the mind. And the result of this meditation is supremacy and victory over all our thoughts, which is declared in the scriptures. And let's look at the last verse also. Then we are done with this section. Yajnavalkya iti hovacha katyam dhyo dvat asmin yajnahe stotriyaha satoshyati tisr iti kasmat tisr iti purono vakyaha cha yajyaha cha शस्य एव तृतीयः कतमस्तः य अध्यात्म इति प्राण एव पुरोनुवाक्यः अपानो याज्यः व्यानः शस्य किं ताभिर्जयतीति पृथ्वी लोकमेव पुरोनुवाक्या जयतिः अंतरिक्ष लोकम याज्यः द्युलोकम शस्यः ततोह होताश्वल उपराम इति प्रथमम ब्राह्मणम. Yajnavalkya said, how many kinds of rig collections will the chanting priest use as hymns in this sacrifice today? 3. Which are those 3? Again, the preparatory, the oblational, and the third, the laudatory collections. Which are those that have reference to the body? The pran is the preparatory, the apan, the oblational, and the vyan, the laudatory collection. What does he win through them? Through the preparatory collection, he wins as a result the earth. Through the oblational one, the sky, and through the laudatory one, heaven. Thereupon the invoking priest, Ashval, kept quiet. So that means all the questions of that Ashval, Rishi Yajnavalkya gave. And all the rishis, all the priests over there, they were satisfied with that. So this mantra deals with the meditation on the 3 types of verses, which is already explained earlier. So 3 vital layers in the body, pran, apan, vyan, we are all familiar with. The preparatory verse is to be meditated on pran. And that's what we do when we start meditation. We focus on our pran. The oblational, he says, as apan, and the laudatory as vyan. This relation of the hymns with the vital layers is meant for making the meditation easier. So that means if we follow this, we can meditate more successfully upon those which are closely related to our own body, because we are familiar with these pran, apan, vyan. And it is more so with the Udgatri priest. Because what is Udgatri's priest duty? Chanting the psalm mantras with proper accents, with demands a certain amount of control over his breath. So that's why pran, apan, vyan. These are all manifestations of the pran. So he should meditate upon pran as identical with the preparatory verses. And with this kind of a connection, he'll be able to meditate upon the earth, which is related to pran. Vital air pran, the preparatory verse, and the earth, he can be situated firmly in his seat. That's how, as aspirants, when we start our meditation, we should focus on the pran vayu. So a person should consider oblational hymns in close connection with the apan and the sky. Meditate upon their identity. And then the same way, the heavenly world. So again, keeping in mind that microcosm and macrocosm, connection between these two, not getting disturbed. So by such meditations, the Udgatri priest will transcend the limitations of the sacrificial rites. That's what Yajnavalkya has explained. And when all his questions were answered, the Hotri priest, Ashval, resumed his seat and did not put any further questions. So that means he was fully satisfied. Or in other words, he declared that Yajnavalkya is the winner and he has taken the cows rightfully. So all these questions, there are a lot of details given in this section. And again, do not get confused. If it helps you to deepen your meditation, good. But if it not, just remember that how beautifully Rishi Yajnavalkya answered all the questions of Ashval. He did not get upset, but he was fully confident because King Janak said, the winner, a person who is a utmost scholar of the Vedas, will take the cows. And he was confident. Okay. And he showed how much he knew, his knowledge, the way he explained all of this in the presence of Janak, also in the presence of a lot of other scholars over there. So next week we'll start the next section. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaye Purnameva Vishishyate. Om Shanti 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 Om. Thank you very much.